Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at two winter storms that could be impacting parts of the Rockies and then also the Midwest and Great Lakes states. Before we get into the video though, please consider liking the video, subscribing to this channel so you never miss videos, and then also turning on notifications so you'll always be notified when I do upload a video. We start off here with the National Weather Service. Over parts of California we have high wind warnings and red flag warnings. The red flag warnings in pink and the high wind warnings in gold. We also have some red flag warnings in Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. Winter weather advisories in those purples over parts of the Rockies, and then winter storm warnings where you could be seeing around 6 inches of snowfall over the next 24 hours over parts of the northern Rockies. Now, we're going to talk about the first winter storm, and we're going to look at the European and the GFS model for both of these winter storms. Now, these winter storms could be impacting, the second winter storm especially, could be impacting parts of the Midwest and the Great Lakes states on Halloween night. So definitely some travel disruptions if you are going trick-or-treating this year. Now, we start off, this would be for tonight. You see the snow is moving down further into the central Rockies, and then it'll start to kind of move into the southern plains by Monday night. Now here, Storm 2 is kind of coming down from Canada. That's Storm 2 right here. This is Storm 1. So focus your attention for now on Storm 1, and then later we'll talk about Storm 2 in just a little bit. Now, as we keep on going on, we see by about Tuesday morning, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, into Wisconsin, and then eventually into the UP of Michigan. They're all going to be impacted with some heavy to moderate to heavy snowfall over by Tuesday morning. So this will be the 29th, and then it moves out into Canada. Now here's your total snowfall accumulations from this system, and you see anywhere in those grays you're about a tenth of an inch to 2 inches. In those blues, about 2 to 6 inches, about 6 to 12 inches in those purples, and if you are in pink, you're about 12 plus inches of snowfall. So you see no areas in pink. Higher elevations are going to be seeing some 6 plus inch snowfall totals, right around 7 or 8 inches. An isolated mountaintop or two could see a bit more according to the European model, and then many areas in the higher elevations seeing about 2 to 5 inches of snowfall, and then also another band here in Wisconsin, Iowa, and then parts of northwest Illinois. Now, the European model before was actually showing a lot more snowfall over this area with this system, but now it's kind of the GFS model showing more, so they've kind of flip-flopped on which one's showing more. The European model is more consistent and is more reliable, as especially once it comes to winter storms. The European model definitely has a better handle on things according for winter storms. So we like to kind of agree with the European model more, but of course we do have to look at the GFS model, and that's what we're gonna do right now. Now we start off, this would be for tonight, and you see some snow showers popping up over the Rockies, and then it starts to move south by Monday morning. It's in the plains, and then by Tuesday morning, heavy snowfall over parts of Iowa, Wisconsin, and then the UP of Michigan, and then it moves out to Canada, and everything's all said and done by about Wednesday morning. Now, here's your snowfall totals. You see, they're pretty consistent. Both the European and the GFS model showing basically the same amount of snowfall. Anywhere in those blues, you're about a tenth of an inch to about 3 inches. Once you get into those purples, you're about 3 to 6 inches. In the pinks, you're about 6 to 12. And if you are in a green, you're about 12 plus inches. So you see some mountaintops getting into the lightest shade of green. So that's about a foot of snowfall. Many areas seeing about 6 inches of snowfall. And then once you get into Wisconsin, Iowa, and northwest Illinois, you're seeing about 2 to 4 inches of snowfall from the GFS model. Now, the second winter storm is where we have a bit more inconsistency. Now, starting off with the European model, and we're going to kind of backtrack a little bit. So this is the system that we want to look at right now. We don't want to look at this one. We just looked at this system. So we're 42 hours out. This would be for Monday night or Monday about midday. And This system is moving out into the Rockies. The other system is already out into the Great Lakes and into Canada, but this system a bit weaker, not showing as much snowfall from the European model as as the GFS model. And you see, we have just some flurries popping up, and then just some light snow showers as we get into about for your Halloween. For your Halloween trick or treating, you're going to be seeing some snow flurries, an isolated area where you could have some moderate snowfall, but generally just about some flurries for your Halloween night. And then also there's a big area of moisture here, and you see actually how if we keep this back a little bit, you have two areas. We have kind of this area right here, and then we have this little unorganized mess of snow showers, and they're gonna kind of mix and then go forward. Now this system is more organized, and it's going to kind of transfer energy to this system, and that's going to lead to some more snowfall over this area, but not a lot of snowfall actually. Just pretty much more rainfall than snowfall for most of these areas. Just some snow showers over these areas, and then turns to moderate snowfall as it starts to intensify over the Great Lakes by Friday morning, and then into Friday night it's already into Canada. Now here's your snowfall forecast, and here's your total snowfall forecast. And you see, anywhere in those pinks or purples, that's about 6+ inches. And you see, we actually get into some of those over Wisconsin and Iowa, but that again is over those two systems. So this system dumped about 4 to 5 more inches, as these areas were seeing about 4 inches of snowfall from the last one. Now here's kind of a GIF of the total snowfall to show you how when this is kind of happening. So about Tuesday morning and then also Thursday night is when these areas will be seeing the most snowfall from the system. Now here's the GFS model. As we start off, just some scattered snow showers over the northern Rockies, moves south, and then a high pressure starts to kind of move it and further south. So a pretty strong high pressure, 1040 millibars, and it makes this system move south, and then it kind of converges with this system. And the GFS model is having this kind of bomb out over parts of the Midwest, and you see some heavy to moderate snow bands, and then also some severe thunderstorms potentially on the back side of that. And you see by Thursday morning some moderate snow over parts of Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and then getting into parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota. Heavy snow bands starting to pop up for your trick-or-treating night. And then really heavy right along that rain and snow line is usually where we see the most or the heaviest snow bands. It's mainly where we have the most lift in the atmosphere, which allows heavier snow bands to kind of set up right along that rain snow line with those systems, especially in winter storms. Now it kind of moves out into the UP of Michigan, into the Great Lakes, and then out into Ontario and Quebec. And you see some very heavy snow bands over parts of northern Michigan, into the UP of Michigan, and then also Wisconsin, and then moves out by Saturday morning. And then some lake effect snow bands right over here in over Michigan. Now here's your snowfall totals from the GFS model, and they're showing about 6 inches widespread over parts of Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, and Wisconsin. So if you do like snow, you're definitely going to want the GFS model to play out. If you don't like the snow that much, most likely you're going to want the European model to kind of be correct in this situation. And then you see a good swath of green colors over here, indicating 12+ inches of snowfall. And then some areas, some isolated areas, seeing right around 2 feet of snowfall. That dark green indicating right around 22 to 24 inches of snowfall. So some heavy snowfall over these areas. Now here's the GEFS model. So there's about 20 members. Well, there's actually more than that, but they have about 20 members that they kind of change around kind of situation, so they kind of change around if a certain thing were to happen with the system, what the outcome would be. So this is kind of putting all those models together, and this is the total snowfall through 150 hours. So this would be through November 2nd, and you see we have about 2 to 6 inches in those blues, 6 to 12 in those purples. Pinks would be about 12 to 16, and then once you get into those like magenta colors, that would be about 16 to 24 inches. So you see some areas seeing around 24 inches over parts of the Rockies in Colorado, and then also we have a good swath of about 5 to 6 inches over parts of Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, and a little bit of Nebraska as well. Now, here's all the different members, and it's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of tell how some of these members, about I would say about 30% of these members have about a little snow over these areas. Member 7 would be a good example of that. Member 10 would be a good example, not showing a lot of snow here. And so some of these models aren't showing a lot of snow. Other models, Ensemble 17, for example, showing around 2 feet of snowfall for Wisconsin and Iowa. So really, it depends on the air temperature. It depends on how much moisture we have with the system. It really depends on how far down that cold air comes, and if that high pressure forces the system further south quicker, that's going to lead to it being able to join with that other system quicker, and that's going to lead to it being a bigger system producing more snowfall over these areas. So definitely we'll have to kind of see what plays out over the next couple of days and as we get closer to this event. Anyways, if you did enjoy that video, please consider liking the video. Also consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss a video when I upload them. Anyways, guys, that was Eli the Weather Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.